All right, what is the sign for a 13-month year? Um, with my experience over the last 8 years, 9 years, looking at stellarium and uh, and just the pattern of the sun, moon, and stars, I would like to just I'm just going to shoot from the hip here, and I haven't got anything pre-planned here other than I've got my computer at timeanddate.com, and then I've got Stellarium pulled up too, and I've got it back at 2003 on April the 17th on what looks like a full moon day. And as you can see here, Spica is in its place. So initially, I went here to timeanddate.com, got the full moon. So there was someone back a few years ago that made a great statement that based on how many full moons happen in a year, that will be the sign of how many months will be in the year. So here you can see in 2003 there was 12 full moons, and then of course we could flip over, and since our year, the way we keep the calendar, goes into the Gregorian calendar, we can look at 2004 here, and we can see that there's not any double moons up. But look here, we've got 13 full moons in this Gregorian year here, and we've got 2 in July. So July the 2nd, July 31st. Someone told me the other day, and I didn't know this, but a blue moon, I guess they said a blue moon is when 2 full moons happen in the same month. So July the 2nd, there were, back in 2004, there was 2 full moons. So if we go back again to 2003, all right, so we've got 12 here. So there's just 12 full moons. And let's look at Stellarium. And this is the morning of April the 17th. We go back and see that was April 16th. The full moon happened at 2:35 p.m. So it's already into the day of the 16th. So more than likely, the next day, April 17th, just based on experience, is your new moon day. So Stellarium, April 17th, at sunrise. We got the moon and the Spica ahead of the moon. So every year I've looked at this. It's an awesome sight to see because Spica is very identifiable with the full moon. It's almost like it just kind of enhances Spica through the night. So Spica on this particular New Year's Eve starts ahead of the moon and stays ahead of the moon, which the stars rotate faster than the moon. The moon is the slowest celestial body in the sky. All right, so there we go. So we got the Spica starting ahead of the moon in the eve of the New Year's Day. Okay, and then we've got timeanddate.com saying there's only going to be 12 months that year. So that's a sign of a 12-month year. Now let's go to 2004 where it actually showed a 13-month year. So, and you got 2 full moons in July. So let's see here. We got April the 5th at 6:02 a.m. Let's go to April the 6th, 2004. See what we got. All right, so April 6th, the sun. Again, I'll put the atmosphere in because it's a little bit more accurate, and I'll bring the sun up. It's below the horizon a little bit, or the apparent horizon. Let's see. Whoops. Y'all see over here, this altitude is what I'm looking at here, right in here. So I just need to go up a bit. All right, there we go. All right, so it's in the pole. Let's go back one day and just see where the moon is. The moon is showing actually above the horizon there. Let's see back where the sun is. It's negative. So that's a plus. And that's a plus. So without looking at any other perimeters, showing the moon at +1. That's kind of hard to see when it's on at 1 degree on the horizon on a morning like that. I'm just going to go ahead and take the atmosphere out here. Let's see. There's Spica right there. So we got April the 5th. Kind of looks like a full moon day, but let's and Spica's right with it there, about 3 degrees, and the moon is at +1, so a couple degrees difference. But watch what happens. The Abib starts behind the moon this night, and then catches up with it through the night. So I believe this is a sign. So I'm going to set this at the 6th, and let's go back through the night, because I believe the April 6th is the true. Now maybe it's April 5th. Anyway, take a look here. You got Spica starting with the moon here, and then through the night it passes it. So what I've always noticed, that it's the 13-month years that I've observed, that stars, at the beginning of that 13-month year, it always seemed like Spica either started with the moon and passed it up through the night, or started behind the moon and caught up with it. So I'm going to say, looks like April 6th would be our better sign of a new moon day back in 2004. Okay, so let's go to our next year. We got 2005. All right, in 2005, we only got 12 months. Let's see, April the 24th at 5:06 p.m. So Spica probably started ahead of the moon here, just based on these 12 months showing here. We'll check the first 3 months of the next year just to make sure. There's no, and there shouldn't ever be 13 months together. So yeah, so we got a 12-month year showing just based on that data here on timeanddate.com. But April 24th, let's see, that happens at 5:06 a.m. So it's probably April 24th at the so 2005, April 24th. And get on the sun, go down on the altitude. Let me put some atmosphere back in it here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're pretty close there. So there's a moon. Yeah, I'm going to say more than likely it's going to be the next day, the 25th. Okay, so there's the moon. We got the sun at Let's bring it down under 1 minute there. And we got the moon here. Oh, let's go to take the atmosphere out. And here's Spica right here. So this is April the 25th. Spica is right here. And let's go back through the night. So Spica's quite a ways ahead of the moon on this night. So there you go. So this particular night, we'll go back a day just to, yeah, so it's ahead there too. But anyway, so Spica starts ahead. So as you can see, Time and Date.com showed there was 12 months coming up. So again, when Spica's already ahead of the moon at the beginning of the night, that's a sign of a 12th month. So we have here in April 25th, 2005, that year was going to be a 12-month year. Now let's go to time and date for the next year, 2006. Okay, again, we've got a 12-month year showing. I'll go ahead and check 2007, just make sure there's no blue moons before the beginning of the year. Okay, no, but this next year you can see May has has a blue moon. So let's go back to 2006. And let's see, we got April 13th at 11:40 a.m. So probably April 14th is New Moon Day for then. 06. Oops, sorry, wrong way. Okay, so here we got the sun. Let's put in the apparent. Say -3 degrees, so we'll come up. Oop, one more. All right, so we got the moon here, and let's look at Spica, and there you got Spica. So I'll highlight it. Let's go back through the night and let's see what Spica does. Does it start out behind the moon? No, it's ahead of the moon. So anyway, so a sign for a 12th month. So when Spica is already ahead of the moon on the beginning of the year, that's a sign for a 12-month year. Now let's go to 2007. And we already saw that that's going to be a 12-month year, or it was. This, we're looking back into the past here. So 2007, there we go. We got a 13 months. So we find here April the 2nd at 12:15. So April the 3rd should be New Year Day. So let's look at that. April the 3rd in 07. And we got our sun here. Whoops. Don't live on a globe. There we go. And let's see, put the atmosphere back in. And altitude, we'll bring that up. There we go. We got the moon here at plus 2 degrees. Again, that's kind of hard to see when the moon gets that low on your horizon, just because of many factors. But let's take a look at where Spica is. So Spica is actually right here with the moon. It's just trailing it. Just let me get my pointer on it. Oop. That's like not letting me get it because I'm so close to the moon. Alright. Well, let's just, I'm trying to click on it there. Let's just go back and then I'll click on it and get it away from the moon. Okay, so go back. So here Spica starts behind the moon. So it's -4 there. And we got +1, so about 5 degrees off. But as we travel through the night, watch Spica catch up with the moon. All right, so it's right there with the moon at that point in time. So again, we were showing a 13th month, I think the 2 full moons in May of 2007, and we have the star Spica. Again, if we go one more day, we can definitely let's take a look at it on this day before. So Spica's ahead on the day before. We got this. The signs are showing that that's new moon day there on April the 3rd, and plus for the fact that Spica started behind the moon, that's a good sign for a 13th month. And as we saw in timeofdate.com, we had the 2 full moons in that respective year there. All right, so we go to 2008 and take a look at that. 2008, it's 12 years. We got April 29th. So, and if you'll notice too, when you have a 13-month year, that next year it's always going to jump forward. So we were on April the 3rd earlier, and now we've jumped, up to April 20th or 21st here in 2008. So let me go back and look at that. Let's see, April the 20th or 21st. All right, let's go back. The sun there, put the atmosphere in. Go back. We're down, trying to get it down toward the apparent horizon. And there we go. We got the moon still above. If you go back a day, you'll see the moon goes below. The sun's not going to be but about a minute's difference from one day to the next. So there you go. Let's take the atmosphere out. Let's see where Spica is. There's Spica. Oops. I can click on Spica. There we go. All right, so let's go back through the night here. And this looks like on April 21st, 2008, this would have been a full moon day and also a new moon day, first day of the year. So Spica starts ahead of the moon on this date. And Spica stays ahead. Well, of course it's going to stay ahead because it travels faster than the moon. So there's a sign. So Spica starts ahead, and on New Year's, I guess you'd say it could be New Year's Eve on the celestial clock. But anyway, as we saw on dateandtime.com, 2008 only had 12 months. So that was a sign that when Spica is ahead of the moon at the beginning of your New Year's Eve, it's going to be a 12 months. So now let's check. Let's just keep on checking. And we're going to get to 2009 here. And take a look at 2009. Okay, we got another 13-month year. Where is our blue moon? When does it happen? In December. Okay, so 2009, we have a blue moon in December here. And now let's look at April the 9th. So as you notice, too, these 13 months, it always seems like the year starts in the earlier part of April. Right now currently, and based on my last video, you know, I think that I showed that there's a lag in the celestial clock that eventually if we continued on another 2,725 years, it showed that our Passover could be 2 months into past what it originally began back in the days of Hezekiah. So we've got a lag in this clock. But it doesn't change much in just a few years. In fact, if anything noticeable at all, it has to take a couple thousand years to see the difference. But there's definitely a difference when you see. So even if you think of the Messiah back a couple thousand years ago, the celestial bodies look different as far as where they was at the beginning of the years back then than they do today. So, all right, so April 9th at 9:55. So I'm going to say April the 10th, 2009. So let's put our stellarium on that. April 10th, 2009. April 10th. And then we'll go back. All right, so we got April 10th, 2009. Let's do our apparent horizon, or apparent atmosphere, that is. Let's see. We're 3 degrees below. And we just went plus. The moon is plus, it looks like. Yeah, +1. It's real close. Again, hard to see, especially anybody lives in hilly area. On the ocean, it'd be much easier to see. And the way they're spraying our skies, I'm telling you, they're blocking it. I don't think I've got a good shot of a full new moon in one time in the last 6 months. I mean, they've sprayed our skies so bad that it's just, you can't hardly see nothing. So, all right, so here we go. This is going to be a sign for that 13th month, because even before I even go back, I see Spica already beside the moon, and I know it started behind the moon. Let's just go back and see. So at the beginning of the evening, well, take that back. I was wrong. Spica is ahead of the moon. Or it appears on this here that it's ahead of the moon. Let's see, what would we do here? That's possible that next day is a 11th. So let's see what happens. Let's go back here. All right, so Spica's quite a bit. So it definitely looks like that is the night of the. So maybe the sign, and again, because I hadn't planned this out or anything, I just wanted to do this a study with everybody else and check it out. So it looks like anytime Spica and the moon are right together at the beginning of the day, or right before the beginning of the day, that's a sign for a 13th month. So we got 2009 here, and then we go back to timeanddate.com, and we got 2009, and we've got 13 months showing. So that seems to be the sign. It's not what happens through the night. It's where that the Spica and the moon are together? Is Spica well ahead of the moon? Based on this, no, they're right within a degree of one another. So, and that would be real close. So again, it looks like this is your sign. Here is when they're close to each other at the toward the beginning of the day. So you'd probably lose Spica about an it depends on where you're located on Earth, but here in Cooterville, we'd probably lose the visual of that star on a clear night, probably about within an hour of the sun appearing. Because once the sun's light gets a certain amount, and Spica, based on their not including the planets, or what they call planets, or what I call wandering stars, but Spica is like the 20th brightest star. So you can definitely see it at night. But this looks like the sign here for the 13th month is how close Spica and the moon are together, just based on we look. So let's go through the next 14 years and see what we get here. So let's go to 2010. And more than likely, this is going to be a 12-month because I've never seen two 13 months together. So here we go. I'm not even going to check 2011. It already looks like, I'm almost positive. But here you go. On a 12-month year, it starts later in April. April the 28th or 29th. April 28th or 29th of 2010. So we'll go to 2028. All right. Looks like 29th for sure, based on that. Put our atmosphere back in to get our sun's altitude correct. I guess I could have been checking the 180-degree mark that I'm starting to take a look at now on my new moon days. So we've got the sun on azimuth at 72, so that would be 252. 180 degrees would be 252.19. So the moon should be underneath that. So 239. So nearly 13 degrees difference there. So it definitely comes within that parameter there. Let's go back to the 28th just to see where the moon is. So definitely the moon is below the horizon. Let's check that parameter again. So the sun is at 72.33. That would be 180 degrees. So the moon should be 252.33, or outside. It should be above 252.33. So let's take a look at it. Well, it's not. It's 250 at that time. So it is under 180 degrees. So that's some data I was starting to take a look at there, and it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to use that type of data. I mean, it was intriguing just based on the shape of the Earth and what the clock looks like. But anyway, I digress. We'll go here. So we got the moon above the horizon. We've got Spica here. And again, we were showing 2010 as so Spica's ahead of the moon, and it starts ahead of the moon. So on April 28th, it starts ahead of the moon quite a bit. And there we go. All right, so let's go take a look at 2011. All right, another 12-month year here. So we got April 17th. So basically what I'm getting outside of March or outside the equinox. I haven't ever seen, with using the celestial clock that we do. I've never seen New Year start in March, but again, I've only been keeping this 8 years. You would have to go back thousands of years to see it beginning in March based on what we know can find on Stellarium. All right, so April 17th, 9:44 p.m. So I would say April the 18th, 2011. April 18th, 2011. And we got here we go, 2011. We got the sun here. Yeah, we can already see this one here. The apparent get the sun. It looks like we might go back a day. We got the altitude of the sun just above, and we got the moon negative. So let's go back to the 19th and go back to the sun, and we got altitude. Come back probably, yeah, just 1 minute. Usually just a minute difference here where we're located on sunrises each day. So we have the moon here, and let's take the horizon out, or the atmosphere out. Here we got Spica, and go back through the night. So Spica starts ahead and stays ahead. And so the sign, it looks like the sign is when Spica goes below the horizon for the moon, then that's a 12-month year. But based on what I've seen already, it looks like when Spica is real close to the moon, right at the moon, you know, within so far within 2 or 3 degrees of one another. That's pretty close to one another. This is a sign for a 12th month coming up here. All right, go back to timeanddate.com. Get 2012. Go down. All right, we got a 13-month year here. Let's see, where did our blue moon happen? In August. So August 2012. So you got 13, looks like a 13-month year here. So again, you go back to April the 6th at 2:18. So this would be, I'm going to say April the 7th. And I don't really pay much attention to when the moon goes 100%, basically on their data. But anyway, I do let it help me get to the proper date. So I'm going to go to April the 7th, 2012 here. And go up to 2012. And we got the sun here. Add my atmosphere back in. And let's see here, move the minutes. Let's see. All right, there we go. We're in the plus. Looks like the moon's in the plus there. Yep. And take our atmosphere out where we can see the stars. And, oh, there you go. So there's your sign. If I can click on, let me go back. Let's go back through the night. So is this Spica? No, that's Saturn. Well, I can't get on Spica. But as you can see, again, our sign is where it is right before that day begins. We're going to see Spica catching up with the moon there. So 2012 showing on timeanddate.com here with 13 months, and August having the blue moon happen. So you've got 13 months. So here's your sign. This is your sign. So Spica and the moon are together. I mean, I can't seem to get on it when it's right there by the moon within its but I'm not going to mess with zooming in on it or anything like that. But there again, there's an awesome sign for a 13th month year, is basically where Spica is right before the day begins. It's awesome to see. So, and I've learned something today because just based, what I've seen myself over the last 8 years, and 7 years probably especially, where I really started taking note of it and had a nicer camera and such. I always saw Spica behind the moon and then catching up with the moon and possibly passing it through the night. So anyway, which was always a sign of a 13th month. All right, let's go to our next year, 2013. And again, we're probably 12 months, and I'm going to say we are. And again, we jump up into April when it's going to be a 12 month. So as you can see, it's like in the first week of April on 13-month years, and then it's 12 months when it's on up into April here. So April 25th, 257. So I'm going to say April 26, 2013. So April 26, 2013. Okay, we got the sun here. And add the horizon, or the atmosphere. Let's see, we'll go back. Yeah, didn't we have? So, all right, here we got your moon. And take the atmosphere out where we can see Spica. And there's Spica well ahead of the moon. So we'll go back through the night. And again, Spica starts ahead and goes below. So a sign, again, a sign for a 12-month year. So we can know, it looks like we can know when our 13-month years are without even looking at data on the internet. We can just simply look at the celestial clock and tell when there's going to be an additional month in the year. So we got 10 more years to go. So let's do them right quick. Oops, I turned eSword on accidentally. Well, we'll go to, all right, 2014. There we go. We got full moon. We got looks like another 12-month year, but let's just take a look anyway on Stellarium and see, because this next year there could be, January could have 2 full moons, or February or March even could. So let's go back. Let's look at 2000. Oh, I got to hit 2014 before I do that. All right, so 12 months, April the 15th. Again, if you'll pay attention too, that it's like the days come back. Oh, when you go from 12-month year to 12-month year, we were at April 26, and now 11 days back we're at April the 15th. So let's go to April the 15th, 2014 on Stellarium. There we go. Let's get our, looks like we need to go back a day. There we go. And let's do our, let's get our sun correct. You put the atmosphere in. All right, let's see here. We got altitude, -2, so let's bring that up. There it is. Let's see if the moon's in the plus. Yep, moon's like 1 degree. Again, that'd be a hard to see. At that time, but you could tell by 30 minutes before. You could basically tell 15 minutes or so. Here's your atmosphere removed. Where's we got Spica ahead of the moon. So Spica starts out behind. And Spica goes ahead of it. So I'm going to say 2015, if we take a look, we probably got 2 full moons. Well, let me close that out. So we're showing 12-month year, but let's look at 2015 and see if we've got a couple of full moons in the beginning of their year. No, oh, okay. Yeah, so, okay, so where was we? We're back on April the 15th, but if you look here, I'm going to say let's check April the 4th or April the 5th, 2015 here. That is correct, right? Uh, so, okay, so April 4th is probably going to be too early. So it looks like this is a 13-month year. And let's look at Stellarium and see where Spica is. So, all right, so keep this date in mind. So we got April 15th, 2014 here. And we're going to go to 2015, April the 4th. And I'm almost willing to bet if I go to April 4th, April 5th, find the new moon night or new moon eve or whatever. I'm almost willing to bet Spica is going to be behind the full moon quite a bit, or several degrees, more than 3 degrees behind the moon, which would be a sign of you'd have to go another month. So possibly your year would not start until this time, May 4th. So let's take a look at it right quick. So again, April 4th or 5th on 2015. There's 2015. We got the well, looks like I'm gonna be wrong on that. So there we go. Oh, I got to add my atmosphere in to make sure I'm closer to correct. We're plus, probably come back a couple minutes. 3 minutes. There we go. All right, so you got the moon here. Take the atmosphere out. There's Spica right there. I can't click on it, but let's go back. So Spica starts behind. So the 12-month of 2014 was correct. So I'm actually surprised here. So we got April the 5th being the sign for a 13th month. So if we go to time of date, we've got the 13 months showing here, and we've got 2 of them happening in July there. So again, your sign is I'm going to say that's probably a couple degrees difference. So when Spica and the moon are in that vicinity together, that looks like that's another sign of another sign of beginning of the year. So again, we'll go back through the night here. Yeah, it actually starts behind and goes ahead. So again, that's been something I've physically seen, and it's probably this 2015 date when I saw that. But anyway, that's a very good sign for a 13-month year, as you can see here. So let's go to 2016. Hit go, and 12-month year, April 22nd. Again, 12 months. Looks like that April. When it happens later in the month, it's a sign of a 12-month year. So April 22nd, 12:23 a.m. So I'm going to say April 22nd. This was April 22nd, 2016. So okay, get the moon or the sun back, add the atmosphere in. Nope. Get the minute back. There we go. Go to our moon. And it's showing +4 degrees. So definitely a new moon day there. So let's see if it was beginning of a year. So yeah, Spica's ahead of it. Go back through and Spica's quite a bit ahead of it. So that seems to be the standard when Spica's quite a bit ahead of the moon. That's a 12-month year. When it's right there with the moon, whether it be just a little ahead of it or a little behind it, that seems to be a sign for the 13th month year. I think some of y'all might agree with me on that just based on what we've seen so far. All right, let's go timeanddate.com. So again, this looks like a sign for a 12-month year. So timeanddate.com is showing no blue moons in that year of 2016. Go to 2017. Okay, here we are. 2017. Make sure. Yeah, 2017. We're showing 12 months right there. We got April the 11th, April the 12th, 2017. So let's go take a look. Wrong way. (2017) April 12th. Get on the sun here. Let's put the atmosphere in. Let's get it right at the. Let's see here. We need to go down a little bit. Whoop, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, needed to go up. There we go. All right, let's go back a day since yeah, so April 11th looks like that might be the day. Let's see let's go back, go up a minute. We're in the plus. Moon's in the plus here. Okay, let's take the atmosphere out where we can see Spica. All right, and that's Spica. Yep, that's Spica there. So let's go back through the night. So Spica just ahead of the moon. So yeah, this is going to be 2017. Looks like our year is going to be a 13 month. So let's take a look at the data here from timeanddate.com. Okay, so it's not showing here, showing 12 months, but let's go to 2018 and see. if we got a blue moon in the first part. And we do. There we go. So January, we've got a blue moon. So again, if we go back here, so the sign being the moon sets close to Spica, or the sign is Spica passes the moon through the circuit of the night. And again, I definitely remember this one. This one was 6 years ago nearly, and I definitely remember watching this event happen. I actually got up through the night and just, would go out and take a look at where Spica was according to the moon. So again, so 2017 is going to be was a 13-month year, because we had, in 2018 we had a blue moon, and it happened in January. So just to make sure, I'm going to go to March 31st here, either March 31st or April the 1st. I'll try April the 1st first. And okay, we got sun here, and our horizon, and say it's minus degrees. So, all right, there we are, plus. Let's go back a day and just see if that makes it. Well, it actually add a minute to the sun. And so the moon's showing 3 degrees above the horizon. So let's take the atmosphere out. And okay, so there's Spica. And let's see, it's away from the moon there. And let's go back. It starts way behind. And let's see, several degrees difference there. Let's see, +2, +6. So yeah, 4 degrees difference. So it looks like, again, it looks like when it's within 3 degrees of the moon. And in fact, we could even take this moon down to where it's setting. Let's see here. So there you go. It's at 0, and Spica is +3.1. And it's, yeah, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but it's it's outside the it's further south than the moon is there. Seems to me, when I've seen the star Spica go with the moon that night, it seems like they're closer together than that. So again, in this algorithm on this particular app is based on a globe, spherical Earth. So again, I think there is possibly some inaccuracies. It's real accurate when you look straight up at night, and you can basically take a picture of the stars at night straight up, and it's, the image is real good. But when we get over to the horizons and stuff, I think we kind of lose a little bit there of where it is, just because we're basically on a flat plane. All right, so 331. So that doesn't look like a beginning of the year there. Just based on all the other observances. See, Spica's, I mean, at the beginning of the night, it's -16, and the moon is above the horizon, so it's way outside. It's a month away from being there. So it does catch up quite a bit to it, but it doesn't it doesn't get with it, it doesn't get right there with it. So let's go back to timeanddate.com. So that previous year, 2017, would have been the 13-month year. And then we go to 2018, and we go up to April 30th. So again, this is a late blooming year, and I remember this one too. It was a 12-month year. But anyway, let's go, where are we at? Let's see, April 29th, April 30th. Let's go to April 30th. And get our sun down to where it needs to be. All right, there we go. So we got the moon here. And let me go back a day just to make sure. And add a minute. Yeah, it's going to be too close. I'm going to say that's sun is +7. And where's the moon? Moon is negative. So yeah, that's not a new moon day. So go back to the 30th and sun there. We got, all right, take the atmosphere out, see where Spica is. So Spica is right here, well ahead of the moon. Let's see where it starts through the night. Okay, so it's Spica's at 10 degrees. Let's see, 10 degrees, about 13 degrees ahead of the moon. So as we saw before back in March, Spica stayed behind the moon, and it never quite, it got close as far as altitude was concerned, but as far as on the azimuth, it seemed to be outside of the parameters there. What would be considered a 13-month year. All right, so we got 2018. It's be a 12-month year, and we're showing that because again we gotta consider this blue moon in March. This would have been what made 2017 a 13-month year. So let's look at 2019. All right, we got 12 months showing there. And let's go to April 19th. Again, we got about 11 days. It pops back about 11 days on the next year from a 12-month year. So we're going to say April 19th might be the right one. April 19th. So that's 11 days back. Add a year to it. And there we go. Yeah, look where Spica is already. Let's see where the sun is. Looks like I need to go up. There we go. Got the moon plus altitude. Take the atmosphere out. And there's Spica. Okay. So that's quite a bit of, whoops. That's quite a bit ahead of the moon. But yeah, let's see here. It starts with the moon and then passes it up. So let's see what let's see if, oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if that was a sign for a 13-month year based on that. So we're showing 12 months here. Let's look at 2020. I think though, because it's the moon is so far ahead, again we go back, you know, it's at negative 3.56, and that's at plus 3. Yeah, it's 6 degrees different. So I'm gonna say, you know, right now, just based on what I've seen so far, just doing this video, it looks like we got altitude plus 3 plus 5. So it actually starts behind. So maybe 2019 will show to be a 13-month year. So let's check it out. And where do you start looking at Spica? You know, which part of the night? Is it at the beginning of the night? Usually it's going to, you know, by the time you're not going to see Spica there, just because of the atmosphere. See there? So you'd have to go up. So again, so you can see Spica's. It's traveling with the moon there. Let's see, altitude plus 15. Moon is plus 17. So the moon's still ahead. So well, let's just check it out. Let's see if this turns in to be a 13-month year. So we got 12 months showing here. Let's go to 2020. All right. So it looks like we got April the 7th here. So let's see where Spica is on April. Looks like April the 8th. So we are on the right year, right? Yeah. So April 8th, 2020. Get the sun. All right, let's see. Okay, it's in the plus. That's the sun. And we got the moon here in the plus. Let's go back a day. It's in the negative there. So let's take the atmosphere out. And there's Spica right there. So moon's at plus 6. Spica's at plus 1. So 5 degrees difference there. Let's go back through the night. Okay, so this is definitely, so that 2019, I'm going to go back and take a look at that, because this is a sign here for a 13-month year. So if we go to time and date, 2020 is showing, yeah, 2 full moons. So that's a 13-month year, and it's showing the sign of it there. Again, we'll go back to through the night. Spica starts behind the moon and then passes the moon. So definitely a sign for a 13th month. But I'd like to go back to 2019 real quick. So yeah, that was I want to look at that on 6:12 a.m. So April 19th, 2019. So I think the main thing there is the Spica's well ahead of the moon. Let's add the atmosphere in. Let's go back. Okay, so you got the moon here. Go back one day just to make sure the moon goes below the horizon. Let's go back an hour. So Spica, you could probably still see Spica there on a clear night. It's at +8, and we got the moon at +15. So that's 7 degrees difference, and then continue back through the night. So you can't even see it there. So you'd have to be, on up into 8 or 9 o'clock before you'd start seeing Spica. And it's +15. And that's showing +17. I'm going to say, though, the reason there's 12-month there is because Spica in the sky, again, looks like it's ahead of the moon here in what I would think my perspective would see, without even thinking about stellarium. I'm just thinking about what I would be seeing at that time of night there. And then, of course, as we go through the night, I mean, it's well ahead of the moon. So again, I could see that showing a 12-month, and especially because we've got the full moon day starting here on the other side of April the 15th, which would be a sign for a 12-month year. So we'll go back to 2020 here. I think what was that? Let's see, that's the moon. We got altitude. Bring that down. Oh, going down. I need to be up. All right, so moon is below the horizon, looks like. Yep. So we come back a day, or I mean, go forward a day and go back to the sun here. Probably add a minute or take away a minute. Yep, there we go, 2 minutes. All right, so Spica's right there. 2020 starts behind and goes ahead. So again, April the 8th, starting the earlier part of the April. So based on timeanddate.com, let's go. We got to go to 2020. And we can see here we got 13 months. We had a blue moon in there October. So there's your sign. There's your sign for a 13-month year. Earlier part of April, and then the star Spica, which anciently used to be known as Abib, but Spica actually means an ear of grain. For those that don't know, ear of grain, that's what Abib means. So if you look up the definition of Abib in scripture, it means an ear of grain. So does Spica. So they basically just changed the name, and probably on purpose, probably straight out of Rome, or all roads lead to Rome, folks. But anyway, yeah, this Spica had traversed through the night, started behind, and went ahead. So again, this being a sign for, being earlier part of April, and then this right here being a sign for a 13-month year. Now let's go to 2021. And we got, so far we got a 12-month year showing here. Let's see. Oh, see, April 26th. Let's go back to March 28th, or March 29th, 2021. March 29th. I can tell you for sure. Let's say March 29th. So March 29th. Look how close that is. Oh my goodness. All right. So we got get the sun, get the atmosphere back in. So we got the moon here. Now go back. So there it is still. Let me put the sun back in. Let's see, altitude. There we go, plus. Moon, we're in the plus. So let's see where, take the atmosphere out, see where Spica was. So yeah, so it's behind. So again, it does look like March 28th was New Moon Day, but Spica's far away from the moon, and I'm sure started well behind the moon this night too. Yeah. So Spica's at -20. Yeah, so it's more than 20. It's 27 degrees at that point behind the moon. All right. So we definitely know March 28th was not a new moon day. So then we go to, what was that next date? April 26th, 10:31. So I'm going to say April 27th, 2021. April 27th, 2021. And get the sun back. Drop the altitude. Oh, atmosphere. And all right, we're in the plus there. Let's go back a day, see where the moon is. It's below. It's +4 there. Night before. So it's 6 degrees difference, so it's -2. All right, so let's take the atmosphere out and see where Spica is. Okay, Spica's right here. Oop. Did it again. Can't. Sometimes it's hard to hit Spica. Okay. Let's see. There we go. All right. So we got Spica there. And again, look at this date, April 27th. So this is a sign for a 12-month year. Go back through the night. And Spica's well ahead of the moon. And of course goes ahead of the moon even further through the night. So there we go. So this is a sign for a 12-month year, especially this full moon happening this late in April here. So let's go to our next year on timeanddate.com. And we got 2022. And we're showing 12 months here so far. And again, we go back almost 11 days, drops back. So again, this looks like a 12-month year, just basically as far up in April it is. This looks like April 17th, 2022. So let's take a look at that. And we'll go back 10 days. So it's 10 or 11 days seems to be like every time when you study like this and take a look at things. Yeah, I want to know the calendar as well as I can. And sometimes it's just a matter of spending quite a bit of time like this, taking a look at it. So the moon is still in the plus there. I don't think that's going to be a new moon day. That would be near him. Well, see the sun's negative there. So we'll put in the plus. Then of course that puts the moon in the negative. So yeah, so April 17th. So again, just because of it being April the 17th, it looks like that's going to be, did I add a minute back to my sun? Or take a minute off, that's what it is. Take a minute off. All right, so based on this, it looks like a 12-month year, based on the data we've looked at so far. Take the atmosphere out. There's Spica. Okay, where was Spica? Where did Spica begin through the night? So I'm going to put the atmosphere in. And when could we have seen Spica? Can't really see it there. But you can see it there. And as you can see, it's well above the moon. And then it disappears before the moon. So anyway, again, this and this right here are 12-month witnesses. So a 12-month year of witnesses. So let's go to timeanddate.com and confirm that. So we're showing 12 months here, and let's just see in the first 3 months of 2023, was there 2 full moons? Well, I know there wasn't, but let's look anyway. All right, there we go. We got January, February, March, no blue moons there. And guess what? We got 13 months here, and look, it looks like where that moon, they say it goes 100%. We'll look at April 6th first, 2023, and that's what Tanya and I are going to keep here in Cooterville. It might not be exactly that for you in another part of the earth, because if we're using April 5th, that comes straight out of Rome, so we can't really go by that date saying to someone when we keep ours. I'm just going to keep ours based on what our clock tells us above our head. Everybody on the earth might be, they're within 24 hours of each other. It just might not be on the same man's date, okay? I hope that makes sense to you. All right, so April the 6th, 2023. So go to 2023, go back April 6th. And we got, see where the sun is. It's right there. Let's see, altitude. So we come down. Or come up, I mean. There we go. We're in the plus. The moon's right there. It's in the plus. Let's go back a day. And it's negative. So, no. So, we got, I'm showing full moon here on Stellarium that day. Now let's take the atmosphere out and see where the Spica was. There it is. It's right with the moon. It's right there with it. So what is the signs that we've seen? Let's put I'm going to put the atmosphere back in. Okay. So you really couldn't see Spica that time of morning, but you could see it there. And you could see that it's caught up with the moon through the night. So Can't see it there. You can start to see it there. So it's starting behind the moon. And again, our other sign is because of this starting so early in April. Now, of course, you know, if we go another 2,000 years in the future, this is going to be out of whack here. We're going to be another month, you know, into starting our years. And we'll verify that here in a little bit. So, as you see, it catches up with the moon. So, we've got this sign showing 13-month year. We're showing this sign being a 13-month year. And then, of course, we've got the data here that we can't see until it happens, but they're showing in 2023 in their August that they're going to have, in their month, they're going to have 2 full moons there. So here we go. Let's add, let's just add 2,000 years. So that's 4,023. Okay, we got the sun. Let's see, we got sun right here. Let's see, where we got to get the moon. I wonder if Dayton, I wonder if timeanddate.com go to 4,023. No, they go to 2,043. All right, so we'll go back to get our, let's see here. All right, that's in 2023. Let's see, I want to find a 13-month year. All right, so let's see, the sun is at plus 43. Let's come bring it back, or 0.43. There you go, plus 0. Where's the moon? The moon is altitude plus. So possibly a full moon, new moon day there. That's real close. I'm going to say that it's not. I'm going to say that it's April 8th. But based on our signs before, you would think, now this is 2,000 years or 2001 years into the future. So where's Spica? Where's Spica? So this would be a sign right here that this is a 13th month year. Where's Spica? Wow. Look where Spica is. So guys, this is what I was talking about. This is where the lag. Spica is at altitude plus 16. The moon's at plus 6, so they're 10 degrees behind. So we go back through the night. And let me add the atmosphere. What is this? Let's see, I got to follow my, oh, it would be behind. Now, let's go up. Let's go up. There it is. So Spica's there. I had to go find the Big Dipper. You can always tell where Spica is. Find the Big Dipper, go through Arcturus to Abib or to Spica. So again, we've got plus 7 there, and we got plus 28. So guys, as you can see, the celestial clock, at least based on the last video I did, the history that we have, the empirical witnesses that, of course, we're using a man-made object to go back, but this man-made object is built on algorithms of the celestial bodies above. So it's putting in this data of how it's traveling through time here, and as you can see, you know, from the 8th century BC, you can see that time is lagging. So we've got go back an hour here. But again, you got Spica way behind the moon here, and we're on April the 8th. So let's go ahead a month and see where we're at. We got the atmosphere in. Let's see where we need to bring the sun up. Okay. We're still negative. There we go. We're in the positive. Let's go back a day. All right, moon's still above the horizon. Let's go. Let's see. Where's the sun? Need to, oops, hit the wrong button. All right, we're at plus. We're in the plus, and we got the moon here at +4. So more than likely that's a new moon day in the future. We go back one day. Yep, it's underneath. So guys, we're looking at April the 7th, and we'll add our. Tell you what, don't add. Let's just go back and find where Spica is. There's Spica right there. See our Big Dipper, Arcturus, to Spica right here. Spica. So Spica is behind. So guys, this is a 13th month year. If we're not gonna make it to here as far as in this old crappy body we're in now. But what I'm trying to show is, I wanted to do this study like this today, and just to show that we're here. We're in 4024. This is 2001 years into the future, and we got a 13th month showing here in their year of 4024, just based on those two witnesses there. So we're a month into the past. So as you can see, the harvest would be out of whack. The seasons would be out of whack and such. So guys, I hope this helped out a few of y'all. I hope it blessed some of the others of y'all. If anybody has any questions or comments, please feel free to do that. If you like the video, like it. If you dislike the video, dislike it. If you do dislike it, I would like a comment, though, the reason why you do dislike it. That way I might do a better job in the future. But everybody have a blessed and wonderful day.